What is going on, everybody? And in this video, we're providing you a state of the market and stock picks for October 20th, 2022. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, consider subscribing, as I do provide daily and weekly updates to get you prepared for the day and the week ahead in this glorious market. So we are back to the grind. We are full earnings mode. And we had Tesla. And the market pretty much sat dead all day waiting for Tesla. Yeah, yes, Netflix did come out. The beginning of the year, they lost 1 million subscribers when they had that coming into today. Waiting. The market wanted to see what is going on with the bigger players at hand here, aka Tesla. And today, just before the bell closed, Elon essentially had a pretty mysterious tweet, essentially that went viral, on saying that he hopes to do better. Somewhat along those lines. I'm probably butchering what he's put out there, but that's pretty much what he put out there. And you don't get a lot of CEOs, CFOs out there talking about or taking full responsibility for what's going on, even though there was a lot of things that are out of Elon's control. He still came in and again nailed it. Tesla still nailed it, in my opinion. They beat estimates by $1. Sales 21.45 billion, missed 21.96 billion estimated. So the sales, they did miss a little bit, but we have to understand the current situation we're in. For Tesla, that's bad in a sense, because it's just saying that someone that is so innovative, well beyond a lot of other companies, probably the best, and probably by a wide margin. Um, the thing is that they still show signs of weakness. This is what you got to understand. What it leads me to kind of believe that things are going to get a lot worse. You're going to see a lot worse earnings from a lot of other companies. Now, yesterday I did talk about the service base. If you are a service-based company, I think you're going to kill it. I think cloud could potentially kill it. Essentially, take the last couple of quarters when people have been working from home and working on a cloud-based infrastructure into more of an office infrastructure, and kind of see where they're at. So some of that cloud services might have died down a little bit. It's hard to really tell. But with that being also said, um, interesting spot. What else came out today was essentially housing. Housing is continuing to drop. Has been hit by soaring prices of materials and raising mortgage rates, which recently reached the highest level since 2002. And so single family homes start dropping 4.7% to a rate of 292,000, the lowest since May of 2022, while 1% to 530,000. So the U.S. again slumped 8.1% on the annualized rate of 1.439 million in September of 22, down from its revised 1.565 million in the previous month, and below market consensus of 1.475 million. So we're continuing to see housing get absolutely destroyed, and meaningfully so. I mean, the rates are going to continue to raise. I don't see them dialing back anytime soon, and it will be extremely harder for people to afford homes. And so people are renting. Again, this is where the demand is coming in for rentals, and why rentals are skyrocketing right now. And the demand for services, because everything is so expensive, is also skyrocketing as well. Again, the other thing we are looking forward to is more of credit card growth and seeing what that's going on. Primarily, I'm looking at Visa. I want to see where they're at. And Mastercard going into this earnings and seeing what is going on with them. So that definitely be something that is worth watching and seeing how this thing unfolds. But being said, what is going to happen with the market tomorrow with Tesla? Now, Tesla did sell pretty heavy after hours. What was given out there, again, we have to remind yourself again, this is one of the best companies, and and they adjust extremely well given the circumstances, and they're still very weak. Now we're going to see a weak Q4. Strong possibility of more layoffs uh, could lead to that, but we have to see. We definitely have to see how we open. The market was waiting for today. Um, Again, we're gonna have to see how we open at 3,600. Again, I think is Tesla going to be the thing that drops us back down to 3,600 potentially? It really just depends. We still got some big earnings next week that we got to watch out for. That could potentially break us and make new lows again. But again, like something I've said, every time we made new lows, some institutions been buying it up. We got till the second before next monetary policy, and then shortly after, we're going to have core, the new core. So we got a lot coming up. But again, we're right in the heat of earnings. Earnings is just getting started. Again, one of your biggest techs just reported, and they are weak. Um, Again, things to consider: Netflix ads, all their ads were sold. They were sold out. So that could look good for Google, good for Facebook. Apple, debatable. Apple's got its own ecosystem, so that's why it's been able to sustain itself, much like Tesla has essentially almost its own ecosystem, which helps a lot. Amazon has its own ecosystem. These are ones we definitely have to watch, but considering again that FedEx did really poorly and essentially pulled a full year's guidance, that could be really bad for Amazon. We have to see again how earnings play out, but nonetheless, there's no point really talking much more about macroeconomics. We have to see again where we open. I think we're gonna go potentially revisit 3,600 by tomorrow. It is that pivot point. We have been kind of running all week, the next couple of weeks going into next, as we get like some of the bigger tech earnings, your Apples, Amazon, Microsoft. Once we get those, I think that will add more weight to which direction we will go. Again, the downside is hard. Every time we go to the downside, it's getting bought up. Like we could make a new low, but I think it's just going to get bought up until we get the next monetary policy. Again, monetary policy, I'm leaning towards the market's just becoming numb to monetary policy, and then it's just more based off a core. I think we're just providing more weight on the core. What's the next core one? Is it going to be higher or lower? I think that's ultimately what's going to matter. 3,600 for some reason. If we do break up over the 3,700, I think we could run up to potentially the 3,766. Well, essentially that 3,800. Strong possibility. I think if we can open up tomorrow, it really just depends how we open. It's market interpretation, how they feel about Tesla, not how you and I interpret it. Even though it's selling off now, there's no. It could bounce tomorrow, and Tesla could be ripping towards 280 tomorrow. So you have to be careful of that, because it's done it before, and you have to understand Tesla is a very good company. Even given the circumstances, it still did extremely well. Another thing we haven't really been watching much, but the dollar looks like it's ready to rip again. Again, big wick. It looks like it's getting ready to make a new all-time high on this trend, and rightfully so. I think just the way things are set up is just heading into another high here for sell off. So you have to watch that. Oil. Still floating around 85. Still not super high, but it's holding high. That's what matters there. I think we're getting ready to again see another major surge between the dollar and oil here shortly. So this turns our attention to the one and only Tesla that we've been looking at here. Again, key levels to watch tomorrow. It really just depends on how we open because it's taken a pretty big dive after hours. Again, 203. Definitely have to watch 203 tomorrow. If it does break that, there could be a strong possibility we could be visiting that 185. I'll definitely be buying at 185 tomorrow if it gets that low. But really watching again that low here at 203. If it does start to run, could potentially look at 240. Just really depends on how the market digests. I've seen these sell-offs and then seen it turn around and just spike right back up to the 223 and then potentially 240. So tomorrow for Tesla, it's definitely one I want to watch for continuation in whichever direction it goes. It's again, it's still beat. Not only I think Tesla could have a nice day tomorrow on either side. Again, if it sells off to 185, that'd be awesome. Just in my opinion, allow me to buy more back in Tesla if that does happen. Again, a lot of these companies, you're not going to get them at these bottom dollar prices right now. So Tesla is definitely one I want to grab. If it does want to sell below 200, I'll definitely be watching it very closely and be buying shares once it does. BA. And BA hasn't done a whole lot. Again, it's going to follow the markets. If the market does decide to pull back some, I could see a 135 here. Again, if it breaks 135, and BA on that. Let's see, banks. The banks, something I talked about today. You got to be careful with the banks. They've had this massive gap. The question is are we going to start really pulling back pretty heavy? I think JPM could at least pull back to the 110 before a potential another up play. But again, I think the banks had this nice run. And again, I've talked about any kind of breakouts this year just haven't been working out. We got another breakout here. And normally, again, like I said, it normally retraces 75%. You're lucky if you get maybe a 3 to a 5% move, and then this thing just sells off again and breaks right back into the downward channel. So watching that there again, same here. GS breakout. Is it going to continue to retest here down at the 300? Or retest here at the 305? If it breaks 305, it's going to continue to sell all the way back down to the 288. Bank of America. And same thing, they have these nice big gaps, but you're going to retest here on the break. And if it can't hold this retest, this thing's going to probably come down pretty heavy. It needs to hold the 33. Essentially, if it can't hold 33 and breaks, this thing's going to potentially come all the way back down. It has support here at the 32 and support here at the 29. So really kind of watching those to see. Again, Tesla's going to be my big play tomorrow, I think, and also SPX. I think if we start getting some gas to the downside, potentially. Again, it really just depends where Tesla lands. If Tesla can land pretty solid on its feet tomorrow and start ripping, you could induce some of the other big tech to start running. If big tech starts getting momentum, will help the market as long as the banks, the financials, they don't crumble or anything. As long as the banks can hold tomorrow and tech rips, it could be a big day tomorrow. Now that we got Tesla out of the way, but we really want to see on how the market's going to digest what they think of Tesla earnings and then take it from that point. So that is pretty much what I got. It's a pretty short video. Again, these kind of videos, you're just giving insight and playing continuations. Probably some of the easier plays. Earnings are always good, but this even more so because we don't get a lot of opportunity in this market. because of the way things are with monetary policy and everything. So that being said, go ahead and drop a like button. Till next time, I'll see you guys later.